The government's further cuts to social welfare subsidies, a 7% reduction over the next 3 years for large organizations and 3% for smaller ones, are deeply concerning. While social welfare represents a significant portion of government spending, these cuts impact vital services protecting vulnerable populations. Recent tragic events highlighting elder care, support for the disabled and mentally ill underscore the urgent need for increased, not decreased, social services in an aging society. These drastic reductions threaten the ability of welfare organizations to provide essential services, jeopardizing the well-being of Hong Kong's most vulnerable citizens. Five new taxi fleets, granted licenses by the government last July, launched yesterday, showcasing vehicles with distinctive designs: orange, pink, blue, and black. Departing from the traditional taxi aesthetic, these fleets offer both app-based and street hail services, while app bookings allow for pre-negotiated fares, generally exceeding metered rates by 10 to 30% according to some operators. Street hails will adhere to standard metered fares. Five taxi fleets, comprising over 3,500 vehicles, boast a significant commitment to sustainability and modern technology. More than 40%, approximately 1,500, are brand new taxis, and over half, around 1,900, are electric, showcasing a substantial investment in clean energy transportation. The displayed electric vehicles are all domestically produced brands, highlighting a commitment to local industry. At a taxi fleet launch ceremony held yesterday morning on the rooftop of the Xing Yi Vehicle Examination Center, taxi executives and media were subjected to intense heat while the event took place outdoors. This led to the apparent heatstroke and collapse of Taxi King and Tai Wo Motors managing director, Wu Hoi Shan, who had to be assisted and subsequently withdrew from the event. His brother and fellow director, Wu Quan Shan, took his place. Xia Baolong, director of the Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, met with Hong Kong's National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, members in Beijing ahead of the CPPCC's opening session. He emphasized the importance of holding a successful Legislative Council election later this year, aiming to elect capable and responsible legislators. Regarding public finances, he expressed confidence in Hong Kong's ability to manage its fiscal deficit, noting that many other places face similar challenges. Hong Kong's budget announced intensified resource efficiency optimization, mandating a cumulative 7% funding cut for government-subsidized social welfare NGOs by 2027-28, while smaller NGOs will receive partial government absorption of the cuts. This austerity measure is widely criticized by the social welfare sector and pro-democracy lawmakers as detrimental to vital services. Financial Secretary Paul Chan omitted mention of the artificial island at Kau Yi Chau in his latest budget. He later stated that the government would prioritize the Northern Metropolis project, reserving the artificial island as a long-term contingency plan. Existing research and allocated funds will continue, but no further funding has been earmarked for the artificial island's development. Hong Kong's new budget announced adjustments to the elderly's $2 public transport concession. But implementation is delayed by 18 months, pending system upgrades, according to officials. However, Executive Council member Chan Kin-por stated that the government is working with Octopus Cards to expedite the process, potentially completing the system update within a year by allocating additional resources and manpower. Reports surfaced that unauthorized individuals, allegedly guided by a man from Meizhou, Guangdong, gained entry to the Kai Tak Sports Park's opening ceremony without tickets, bypassing security with prohibited items like umbrellas and professional cameras, for a reported fee of at least 1,000 Hong Kong dollars per person. The sports park stated it would investigate and refer any suspected illegal activity to the police, or ICAC. Police confirmed an investigation is underway, but no arrests have been made. The Kai Tak Sports Park's rentable facilities open for public booking tomorrow. While the cheapest option, the Youth Athletic Field running track, offers free daytime slots and evening rentals for just 18 Hong Kong dollars. The most expensive, the Kai Tak Youth Athletic Field, suitable for football or rugby, costs 1,800 Hong Kong dollars for 1.5 hours. Over 5 times the rate of comparable government facilities and on par with private venues like South China Athletic Association's football field. Bookings can be made via the park's website and app, with members gaining access to bookings 10 days in advance. Non-members can book 11 days out. The trial of Jimmy Lai, founder of Next Media and Apple Daily, on charges of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces, entered its 142nd day. Prosecutors repeatedly accused Lai of sacrificing China's interests and fighting for American interests, accusations Lai vehemently denied, maintaining he fought for Hong Kong's interests and freedoms. Lai's explanation for a past interview where he used the word dismember in relation to China was that he intended it to mean China was not a member of the international community, denying any advocacy for the fracturing of China. The prosecution concluded its 24-day questioning. The defense will begin its cross-examination tomorrow, expected to conclude on Thursday. Concluding a 24-day cross-examination, the prosecution detailed 3 charges against Jimmy Lai, alleging a conspiracy between Lai, 3 Apple Daily companies, and several executives and employees to publish 161 seditious articles between April 2019 and June 2021, intending to incite hatred against the central or Hong Kong government and incite violence. Lai rejected the charges, calling them utter nonsense. On Sunday, police, in collaboration with multiple agencies including the National Games Hong Kong Organizing Committee, the Fire Services Department, and the Hospital Authority, conducted a large-scale emergency and counter-terrorism exercise in Central Harbourfront to enhance interagency coordination in responding to major incidents during the Games. A gas explosion occurred yesterday afternoon in a flat at May Tin House, Lam Tin Estate, injuring 3 people, 1 critically. The explosion, believed to be caused by tampering with a gas stove hose, blew open the flat's door and scattered debris across the playground and hillside. Firefighters were already on site investigating a suspected gas leak when the explosion happened. The case has been handed over to the Kwun Tong District Crime Squad for investigation. Following a gas explosion in Mae Tin House, Hing Tin Estate, numerous residents evacuated the building, some seeking refuge at a nearby elderly center. A resident, Mr. Wong, recounted how he and a dozen others were sitting outside the building with their pets when a loud bang, like a truck tire bursting, was heard. Debris rained down, though the building's awning offered some protection, preventing serious injuries. Mr. Wong's 2 parrots, which were out of their cages at the time, were initially startled and flew away, but he was able to locate them by their calls in nearby bushes. During the 2023 Stand News trial, a Mingpao court reporter was verbally abused and twice shoved by police officers from the case management team while interviewing and filming the prosecutor in the district court car park. The reporter subsequently filed a complaint with the police complaints department. 2 years later, the department ruled the verbal abuse allegation unsubstantiated and the assault allegation no misconduct. The reporter expressed disappointment and appealed the decision. Former Chinese University Student Union President Lester Shum was convicted of inciting others to abstain or cast invalid votes in the 2021 Legislative Council election for sharing a Facebook post by former legislator Ted Wei, urging a blank vote. His 2-month prison sentence, suspended for 18 months, was upheld on appeal. The court ruled that inciting non-participation undermines the electoral process and wastes public resources, and that the limitations on free speech in this case were justified. After more than half a century illuminating North Point, the dazzling neon lights and iconic spinning lights of the Sunbeam Theatre finally dimmed and its gates closed for the last time at midnight yesterday, marking the end of an era for Cantonese opera. Lee Kyo-ming, who operated the theatre for approximately 13 years, bid farewell, stating that while the Sunbeam Theatre's physical presence may be gone, its spirit lives on. Three men accused of murdering a middle-aged man found dead in Hamilton Street Park, Yau Ma Tei 5 years ago, were acquitted of murder and manslaughter but convicted of assault causing actual bodily harm. The court heard the assault stemmed from a debt collection attempt, and while the three were found not to have inflicted the fatal blow, they received 15-month prison sentences for their involvement in the attack. In the 62nd day of the trial of 8 individuals accused of plotting 3 bombings in early 2020, under the controversial anti-terrorism law, a police officer testified to finding an American flag and a banner reading, "Liberate Hong Kong. Revolution of Our Times" at the home of a female defendant, Yang Yi-si. Court exhibits included Telegram group chats showing discussions of an operation in Sung Kwan-o, where a message allegedly from Yang Yi-si's account offered to print information on the dogs, referencing police, with another member suggesting distribution by local residents. A 30-year-old man was fined 4,000 Hong Kong dollars for filming inside a court building and uploading the footage to social media. He pleaded guilty to 2 charges related to unauthorized filming in court after being reported by netizens following an incident in August at the Eastern Magistrates Courts where he was attending a summons case related to his employer. The judge noted his unemployment resulting from the incident as a mitigating factor. Last year, the Independent Commission Against Corruption, ICAC, received 2,058 corruption complaints, a 3% increase year-on-year. After dismissing election-related complaints, government departments were implicated in 480 complaints, a 6% increase, with the police force accounting for the highest number at 108. 16 civil servants faced prosecution for alleged corruption or other illegal activities, while the Advisory Committee on Corruption's chairman, James Tien, stated that corruption remains effectively controlled. The increase in complaints does not directly correlate with prosecutions and shouldn't be used as the sole indicator of Hong Kong's integrity. A 19-year-old male student faces trial on April 30 for allegedly turning his back during the national anthem at a World Cup qualifier match in Hong Kong last June. He pleaded not guilty to the charge of insulting the national anthem. The government's long-planned revision of the Post-Secondary Colleges Ordinance, aimed at tightening regulation of self-funded tertiary institutions, will be gazetted this Friday and presented for first and second reading in the Legislative Council. On September 19, a 3-year transition period will be provided for unregistered institutions to comply.